Hi, my name is Brenda Erler, and this video is a continuation from the previous video about what caused me to want to write the book, Learning to Be You. It's an inside job, recovery and healing for the loved ones of the substance addicted. So, in that video, we talked about the incident that caused my husband to begin his journey to be clean and sober after being an addict for 27 years. In the time, it was in 1990 when this happened. And I'll just give you a little recap. He shot the back of the car and was arrested and charged with domestic abuse by the state of Washington because they don't rely on the victim in Washington to charge the individual. The state, is the one who charges. Good thing because victims, for me, the thing that I thought about was the problems it was going to cause me. And that would make it really hard for me to charge him because I knew it was going to impact me. Great. So so what we're going to cover in this video is we're going to continue on with my journey from him going to jail. And the topic for today is awareness, because that is the first step. So let's begin. And this is such a good awareness is so good in this little video because of the fact that I had moved my family 1,000 miles away from friends and family. Of course, at the time, because I was very unhealthy, I did not realize that I was trying to control my external circumstances. And I thought that if I moved him away from his friends, that maybe could quit drinking. It's kind of a funny thing because you cannot control your external. You only have control over your internal. And that's what we're going to start talking about, and we're going to continue to talk about. You can be aware of that internal and what you can do to help to become healthier. And the first thing to always remember is there is a part of source within every one of us. And we're going to find that part of source. So we're all full of love in the first place. That's a wonderful way to start. This inner work I will call spirituality, but what it is getting to know ourselves. And I just want to clarify, for me, spirituality is not religion. I am not at all religious. Religion to me is when someone else is telling you what to believe, and spirituality is when you go into your own self and find your own values and what you believe in. And you start to work on the things that you need to work on in this life to become enlightened. So, the thing that happened after my husband was put into jail, he was sentenced and put into jail. And the judge uh, ordered him to go to a treatment facility. And I think it was either a 21 or a 28-day program. I'm not sure which. It's been a long time ago. And it was an inpatient at a hospital. And then after that, he went to a 90-day program outpatient. He was getting a lot of education and information about the disease of drug addiction, substance abuse. And I think of it as a disease. Uh, other people may not, but to me it is. And to me, they're actually helpless, but they can find. Now, my videos are not about turning that substance abuser into someone clean and sober. This is all about us and what we can do to to make our lives a lot easier, because there are behaviors that we codependents tend to do. We're trying to control our external circumstance, which is what I did when I moved my family 1,000 miles away from family and friends, I was trying to control my external circumstances. So today we're talking about awareness. So it took me a long time, honestly, even after I wrote this in my book. I said that I believed that that's what I did, but I really didn't realize the impact of it and how much it was me trying to control the external. But again, very unhealthy at the time, gotten much healthier. And despite the fact that my husband shot the back of the car, we were married for 36 years. And again, this is not, my videos are not about what to do, for one thing, as far as what external act to take. This is all about internal work. And what can happen is once you change your internal, you can affect the external. So this is process, and awareness is the first step. So let me go back to what happened after my husband was arrested and put into jail. I told my boss I need to take some time off, and I'm going to go back to my hometown where I lived before we moved. And I had family and friends there, and the company that I worked for. I had been, for a few months, I had been looking for opportunities to move back, but had not found an opportunity. I told my boss I want to take some time off, and he said that's fine. And it happened to be spring break, so the kids were out of school. So I have to share, it was pretty fun. I was planning on driving, and I was nervous about driving with just my son and myself. That 1,000 miles, I get nervous about getting sleepy while I'm driving. So I called my boss's wife and asked her if she'd come with me because she was actually from there as well. And she said, I can't because I'm going to school. I've got um, exams this week, finals this week. It's very important to me. And so I said, okay, I understand. I hung up the phone, and about 15, 20 minutes later, she called back and she said, Bill's going to go with you. And Bill was my boss. She said he has a meeting in Salt Lake. That's where we were going to. And we canceled his airline. He's going to go with you. So we rode together. I drove, but it was nice to have somebody with me the whole time. And he discovered that it was okay for someone else to drive and him to rest. He told me that. It was so good. And I got him to his meeting on time, which was that. Once I got home, got to my work, I actually went into my work to see my friends, of course. And within 20 minutes of me being there, I had 5 people come and tell me, did you see the job in graphic? Well, it was very entry level position. And after 10 years with the company, of course, I felt way overqualified for the job. And when I realized 5 different people in minutes mentioned it to me, I'm thinking someone's trying to tell me something. So I made an appointment with the boss, A was his name, to interview for the position. And he didn't actually interview me. He just said, the job's yours if you want it. So, of course, I had to tell him the story that Lynn was in jail and that before I could make a decision, I felt like I needed to let him know what I was up to. And when you're in a certain situation like this, when you're the victim, treatment facility would not let me talk to my husband. It probably was a good idea. And so when I got back, I called and gave the message to one of the counselors, and then they would talk to him. That's how it would work. So I had Jay said, I'll give you, and she gave me a deadline, it was like 3 days. So I traveled back, and on my way back home, I stopped at my dad's house, and he told me, "We'll help you financially if you need help to move back." So I went home, and I ended up driving home alone. Bill didn't go with me back home. He just went with me one morning. And but that was so nice of him to do that, rather than be on an airplane to be in a car for 14 hours. Okay, so I come home and I had not made my decision yet. And I walk in the door of work and Bill says, "Well, what have you decided?" And it just came out, "I'm taking the job." So in the next couple of weeks, because he wanted me there, Jay wanted me there in 2 weeks' time. So we prepared to move, got ready. The guys actually rallied and helped me out in several ways, which was very nice. It wasn't a regular practice for them with me. They did a little bit of social closure while I was there. So we ended up moving back, and my intent was to bring Lynn back home, or let him to come back with the stern, "You will not drink and drive drug again. If you do, I'm out of here." So, well, luckily, being in jail and that whole experience really was the thing. He had hit rock bottom. Sometimes that's what they need to do. They need to hit rock bottom. So, because I needed to train the new person at the office, Bill let me come, and I drove so I could bring Lynn home, and stayed a week and trained the new person. And at the end, I brought Lynn home. And that when we pulled in, I said, "You never drink, or if you ever drink or drug again, I am out. I'm out of your life. I just want you to know that." So I don't know if I shared, I did in the first video, that he and I were married for 36 years. And it's not, again, I do not want to encourage anyone to follow my example in that way, um, because you need to make the decision that's best for you. The most important thing is that you get healthy with your internal self first before you make any decisions. So that's what my book is all about. It's about how the steps to take, how to be aware in the first place, and then steps to take to start to find self love, which is, in the end, is what I felt like we all needed to have, is self love. So, with that said, this is our first step: awareness, becoming aware. And mine was awareness that I was trying to control my external circumstances, when it was really my internal self that I needed to be looking at. So, and I want you guys all to know, you're in my heart. All of you are in my heart. And when I wrote my book, every word I wrote, I was thinking of you. Because it's a difficult place to be in. And I love all of you. And I want you to find the peace that I have now. Now, my husband did pass away in 2017, and I miss him horribly, of course. You can imagine, we were married for 36 years. But I want to bring some peace. And through my channel and these videos that I'm going to share on a regular basis, I'm hopeful that you will find what I have found with the tools and steps that I've discovered and documented, and the other things that I've brought into my life to help me. And just FYI, my book is available on Amazon. It's paperback. It's on Audible. It's on Kindle. It's in Spanish on Audible and Kindle and paperback as well. But anyway, I love you, and I hope you'll keep coming back to experience this. We're going on this journey together. I love you very much, and thank you so much for listening. Please have a beautiful day. Namaste.